we're going to bring it down to street level snow total forecast. From the nation's capital to Philadelphia to New York to Boston to Providence. Hi there, I'm meteorologist Vin Crosby from the Weather Show at Vin Crosby. In this video, we're going to cover snow forecast totals, high wind speeds, right down to your street level. So here are the snow totals starting 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. We can see there will be some snow coming down through West Virginia, an inch or two, and into the Carolina mountains around the nation's capital. Washington just starting to come down there, Philadelphia, and it will be moving on in by 5 p.m. across Long Island Sound, getting in towards I-95 in southern Connecticut and around New York City. As we go in through the overnight hours, you can see the snow starts to expand towards the east around Cape Cod, now getting into New England, and it really starts to pick up in intensity down here around the south through Virginia and North Carolina, and those areas of yellow, that's around Roanoke, Virginia, 2.16 inches of snow. The darker shade here in orange, 3.05 inches of snow. This by 11 p.m. on Friday night. You can see as we go into the overnight hours, it starts to pick up in intensity as the storm starts to intensify off the coast. This down around Delaware now, and then throughout all of North Carolina. I think it was back on Tuesday we said, hey, all of North Carolina and South Carolina could get some snow. Look at this. This is Columbia, South Carolina. That's getting some snowfall in some areas down here around South Carolina. Throughout much of North Carolina, going up in towards Raleigh or Burlington, Greensboro, we're talking an inch or two of snow. So I-85 is going to be very treacherous. I-95, treacherous. Don't be traveling Friday night. This is going up towards Norfolk and the Hamptons area. 2.28 inches of snow. Richmond, Virginia, around a half inch to an inch of snow. But the heaviest snows at this point will be where the storm starts to develop offshore. So around Baltimore, not a whole lot, maybe a dusting to an inch, and around the nation's capital, not a whole lot either. But now, as we get out here towards eastern areas of Maryland, you get around 6.5 inches of snow out around Seashore State Park. So now we're up around Atlantic City, and you can see there with the snow total forecast, that's coming in around 5.5 inches of snow. This going in towards the early morning hours of Saturday morning, around 5 a.m. Saturday morning. Delaware Bay down towards the south, and those darker shades of red, that's over 6 inches of snow. Philadelphia, let's go down in towards the city of brotherly love. We see around an inch, inch and a half through Philly, and then there's the New Jersey Turnpike just down around Haddonfield, about 2 inches of snow. And then as we come up the Turnpike, we start to see snow increasing around Hightstown, and then back towards the Toms River area. Been down there, spent some time at Toms River back in the old college days. 3 inches of snow, and as we come up going towards New York, you can see around the city of New York City about an inch or 2 inches by the morning hours on Friday. But the heaviest snow bands will be back out across Long Island. Here you can see around Brentwood and out towards the east of Long Island around Hampton Bays, about 2.5 inches of snow, and then back up following I-95 right up along the eastern seaboard. We see around New Haven, Connecticut, about an inch or two coming in by the morning hours on Saturday, and then New London around 2 inches of snow. Providence, around an inch or two of snow. The Cape and the Islands, around 2 to 3 inches of snow. Brockton, Mass, getting around 2 to 3 inches of snow. Again, this is Friday night going into around 5 a.m., but wait till you see the snow increase here in the next couple of maps. So this going in now to 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. And you can see there's a band of the pinks and the reds and the oranges. That's some heavy snows there, folks. Around 4.5 inches of snow. So you do the math, you're around 2 inches by 5 o'clock in the morning. Around 6 inches of snow, maybe 7 inches of snow by 11 a.m. Saturday morning, back across the Providence area. And then Fall River, if you get down there, you're going to get even into the heavier snow amounts around Taunton, Mass, around 5 to maybe 5.5 inches of snow. And then going down in towards the Cape around West Wayham, you can see 7-8 inches of snow there. Down around Falmouth in the Cape Cod area, about 8 inches of snow there. This by 11 a.m. on your Saturday morning. So tremendous amount of snowfall there. But watch what happens as the storm comes up the coast and starts to bend back. We start to expand that heavy band of snow. Notice much of Rhode Island getting into the red area. Greenville, about 6 inches of snow on top of the 6 inches of snow that had already fallen. So now you're up over a foot of snow around Providence, Johnston, Cranston, Greenville. Let me take the opacity down here a little bit so we can see a little bit of the map a little bit better here. North Scituate. I played baseball for the Scituate Townies back in the day. 6.5 inches of snow. So you're up around 10 inches of snow. Pawtucket, 6.5 to 7 inches of snow. Back up towards Cumberland, maybe around 7 inches of snow on top of the 2 or 3 that already has fallen. So you're up around 7 to 9 inches of snow. But the purple here is a lot more snow coming on down across their area. So Mansfield, Massachusetts, around 7.5 inches of snow. This again, Brockton, 8 maybe inches, 9 inches of snow, and then up towards Boston in the city, around 7 to 8 inches of snow coming on down, and Peabody, Massachusetts, 7 to 8 inches of snow. And you can see it's a very fine line between the snow bands. Marlborough coming in around 7 or 8 inches of snow. Worcester coming in around 5 to 8 inches of snow. So we're seeing these bands of snow really taper off as you go back towards the west, getting out of Rhode Island, back towards Plainfield, Connecticut, around 5 inches of snow again, and Putnam, Connecticut, up around 6 inches of snow. And taking it further north along 95, you can see back towards Portsmouth, New Hampshire, around 4.5 inches of snow. Portland, Maine, around 3.5 inches of snow. A tremendous amount of snow coming on down through these areas, but back up through New Hampshire, around Lake Winnipesaukee, 2 to 3 inches of snow. And then back into the Vermont area, we're looking at lighter amounts of snow. This is on Saturday. You can see a lot of the snow around Trenton, New Jersey. It starts to taper off. The city getting New York City around maybe 2 inches of snow. Not much in Baltimore, not much in Washington, D.C. at this point, and most of the snows are out of the Carolinas by 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. But slick travel, dangerous travel, where people could get stranded back up across I-95 in Massachusetts, back up into southern areas of New Hampshire. There's Nashua coming in. We're around 4.5 inches of snow. So from that standpoint, not a big deal. The wind is going to be a big deal, but it's going to be in this area right here where you'll see your biggest snow totals throughout the region. So what we're looking at here are the wind gusts with this storm system. Watch this storm system start to develop right here off of the Cape Hatteras area, off the Carolina coast. We start to see the winds come in and start wrapping around the center of that low pressure, and then it starts to bomb out. We call it bombogenesis. So this is a bomb cyclone that is in the making. The high winds coming around the center there, those wind speeds right in through there, coming in well over 40 miles per hour out here off the Atlantic. That's 48 miles per hour right there off of Cape Hatteras. This is 9 p.m. Friday night. As we go on in towards the early morning hours of Friday night going into Saturday, now we start to see the winds really start to focus around this storm system just offshore, and the reds start to poke up here off and out over the Atlantic Ocean. So the wind speeds here are 74 miles per hour. Hey, that's hurricane strength right there, knocking on the door of it, and it continues to move towards the north with 50 mile per hour winds. So 40 to 50 mile per hour winds along the coast. There'll be tremendous amounts of waves and wind damage, coastal flooding rather, I should say, and then wind damage along the coast. This is Atlantic City, so the winds here in the overnight hours, 41 miles per hour there along the coast or by Atlantic City. This in the early morning hours. As we enhance this or pull away, you can see that those wind speeds are going to increase. This is now Saturday morning, the nor'easter right here out over the coastal areas, out offshore of the New England area. And look at the northeast winds coming on in. This is tremendous wind speeds out around Plymouth, the Cape, and the islands at 63 mile per hour winds by 11 a.m. So here are the winds between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Notice that the system makes a move from back down here to the south, and how quickly that system moves up in around 6 hours or so. This is 4 a.m., and then as we go and take a little jump to 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, we see this tremendous amount of winds coming in from the northeast direction across the region. So we're looking at some wind speeds. Let's go and say for Providence right here, That's 40-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the due north, with snow, of course, falling around Taunton around 40 miles per hour with those wind speeds. And up around Boston, we're going to have wind speeds around 40 miles per hour. This is 11 a.m. on Saturday. By 8 p.m. on Saturday, most of the real heavy winds will have pinwheeled through and moved offshore, but this band that's out here, where the wind speeds are around 75 miles per hour, should stay right along much of eastern areas of Massachusetts as it continues to pinwheel out and goes off and out to sea. But the whipping winds will come on through, dangerous wind chills behind it, blowing and drifting snow. So your classic nor'easter. This channel was the first to tell you about it in snow totals. I had a lot of people saying, hey, wait a minute, you're hyping things up. No, we weren't hyping things up. We were trying to get the attention early on in the week so you're not waiting until the last minute. So you want to have all your preparations taken care of the latest. So by noontime on Friday, you want to have all your emergency supplies taken care of. Be sure to get some candles. That's a good thing to have in situations like this with the matches as the power goes out. If you don't have a wood-burning stove, you can have light from the candle. You can also have some warmth from the candle, big candles, of course. And of course, you're going to want the flashlight, some extra blankets just to stay warm as the power will go out in some areas. The Cape and the Islands, Long Island, down around Block Island, probably going to lose power. Many areas in Rhode Island and back to southeastern and eastern areas of Massachusetts are probably going to lose power from this one. So the storm system is arriving. It is moving up. And again, boy, the snow is going to come on down from the Carolinas right along the coastal areas, along this storm track. The models are in agreement, so be safe out there. We'll give you some more updates here going into Friday night, and then again during the day on Saturday when it's unfolding. So that should be pretty fun coverage. I probably do a couple of live streams on Saturday, so I'd love to have you check out the YouTube channel for those live streams. And boy, it's going to be a fun little storm, a big one as it moves up into the northeast.